I'm quitting porn. I've been watching it for years. I don't think I'm addicted, but I don't like how it feels when I use it. Last night I downloaded one of those AI chatbot apps that advertises itself as having no filter, and I sexted with an AI. 4 hours. I lost time that I wanted to spend on personal projects and I lost sleep because of it. I spent 4+ hours of my evening saying disgusting things to encode algorithm and I feel awful because of it. I've always thought that integrating AI into porn was an awful idea bound to have horrible consequences, but there was no stopping the industry. It feels like a super potent drug. I tried it, it was amazing, but it wasted so much of my time and energy and the next day I feel awful about it. That was just the straw that broke the camel's back. For years now I've had a throwaway Reddit account literally just for porn. I would browse porn subreddits, I'd save the ones that I really liked, and I'd keep browsing. I checked today and I think I had over 500 saved posts. Just seeing that and realizing that really made me rethink if I truly wasn't addicted or just in denial. Before that, I've watched so much porn on various sites. I had a note in my phone of my favorite porn stars because I didn't want to create an account to save the videos. It's also just an awful industry of rape, drugs, abuse, and underage girls. I don't want to support it, and also being exposed to that kind of energy, I feel it slowly turns me into a much worse person as my internal thoughts about the women in my everyday life are full of nasty disgusting things that I would never utter out loud, but I don't feel like it makes me any better of a person to be thinking them in silence. If the people in my life knew the kinds of things I keep thinking about them, I would lose so many friends. I want to be a clean and virtuous man. I want to find an actual meaningful relationship where I can safely have those intimate experiences with a woman I love instead of flashing pixels of two actors paid to fuck each other. I want to be responsible and not rely on vices to make me feel good. I've gone through this process of acknowledgement and action with my edibles a month ago and I think it's time I go through this with porn. I have logged out of my NSFW Reddit account and all the saved posts. It was a throwaway and the password is long forgotten, probably was a keyboard smash anyways. I have deleted my note of my favorite porn stars. I have entirely wiped the AI chat app off of my phone and, if I'm able, I plan to restrict downloading it with a keyboard smash password. And I plan to restrict as many porn sites as I can from my Safari with a keyboard smash password. I don't need this. I don't want this. I'm better off without it. I'm getting rid of it. Let me analyze this story for you. The first paragraph introduces the decision with a powerful simplicity: I'm quitting porn. There's no dramatic flair, just clarity. This opener already sets the tone. This is not a confession aimed at eliciting guilt or sympathy, but a sober, determined reckoning. The narrator immediately rejects the label of addiction, but then admits discomfort with how it makes them feel. That tension between perception and internal reality becomes a major theme. They may not have fit the clinical definition of addiction, but emotionally, they are clearly at a breaking point. The mention of the AI chatbot is especially important. It's the story's inflection point, the incident that pushed the narrator from unease into action. What's striking is not just what they did, but how they reflect on it. The shame is immediate, raw, and self-aware. I spent 4+ hours of my evening saying disgusting things to a code algorithm. That sentence carries more than regret, it carries revulsion. Not just at the act, but at how easily they were pulled in. The self-disgust comes not from prudishness, but from a profound sense of misalignment between who they want to be and what they found themselves doing. It's like waking up after a blackout and realizing you were someone else for a night. There's also a striking shift in tone here, from personal shame to social concern. I've always thought that integrating AI into porn was an awful idea bound to have horrible consequences. The narrator is not just reacting to what happened to them, they're observing a broader cultural collapse, a technological shift that feels like a super potent drug. That metaphor is powerful. It casts AI porn not just as a novelty, but as something inherently dangerous. Something engineered to be irresistible, but fundamentally dehumanizing. The next paragraph expands this shame into the past. Suddenly, this isn't just about one night of AI-fueled sexting, it's about years of habitual consumption. The narrator recalls the throwaway Reddit account, the saved posts, the folders, the notes in their phone. All small acts that add up to a life quietly shaped around a vice. And here we see another powerful emotional shift, denial unraveling. The narrator begins to realize they weren't just a casual viewer. They were organized. Invested. Maybe even dependent. That realization is crushing, but it's also liberating. It's the hinge moment between secrecy and truth. Then the post takes an ethical turn. The narrator pulls back the curtain not only on their behavior, but on the industry itself. It's also just an awful industry of rape, drugs, abuse, and underage girls. There is deep moral disgust here, not just with the product, but with its implications. This is not a man who simply wants to feel better. This is someone who is coming to terms with the idea that their consumption has real-world consequences. That every click supports a system of exploitation. The line about how this exposure slowly turns me into a much worse person is brutally honest. It's not just what they watched, it's who they became. The mention of intrusive, degrading thoughts toward women in real life hits hard. It is not a boast, it is a confession. And it is an act of courage to say, this darkness lives in me, and I want it out. The emotional depth deepens here. The narrator imagines what would happen if the people in their life knew what they were thinking. That's a haunting idea. It goes beyond shame, it hints at moral self-exile. The pain isn't just about secrecy, but about a fracturing of identity. I'm someone they care about, but if they saw this side of me, they wouldn't. That's not self-pity, it's the voice of someone yearning to be whole again. Then, something beautiful happens, a shift from despair to vision. I want to be a clean and virtuous man. That sentence radiates with yearning. There is no irony, no cynicism, just a clear, almost old-fashioned moral desire. The narrator wants not just sobriety, but integrity. A return to innocence, or at least to honesty. And there's a tenderness in the next line. I want to find an actual meaningful relationship where I can safely have those intimate experiences with the woman I love. The word safely is crucial. It signals not just physical safety, but emotional sanctity. A desire for connection that is real, not manufactured by pixels or scripts. The mention of quitting edibles a month ago strengthens the narrator's arc. It shows this isn't a one-off impulse but part of a broader inner transformation. They are in the process of reclaiming their autonomy from anything that dulls, numbs, or distorts their sense of self. That's incredibly powerful. This is not a story about repression. It's about liberation. The final paragraphs detail the concrete steps taken: logging out of Reddit, deleting the AI app, erasing the notes, setting password protections. These are not just actions, they are rituals of self-respect. Acts of cleansing. Each step is a symbolic break from the past. The repetition of "I don't need this. I don't want this. I'm better off without it" is not just a mantra, it's a reclamation. It sounds like someone tearing down a wall brick by brick, finally seeing the light beyond it. In summary, this post is not just about quitting porn, it is about reclaiming the self. It is about confronting a quiet, corrosive shame that has built up over years and choosing to be better, to be cleaner, to be more present in life and relationships. It is about naming the darkness without flinching and then choosing the light. The most admirable quality here is not perfection, but honesty. This narrator is not posing as a saint. He is someone who has seen how far he's strayed from the man he wants to be and is taking real steps to close that gap. That is not weakness. That is strength.